Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to viewers and listeners. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes of your time today to present at today's update. I'd like to acknowledge the Honourable Wendy Phipps, who's here with us, and the Honourable Akila Byron Nisbet, and of course the NEOC task force, members of the task force. So this afternoon I'm here in a sort of unexpected capacity, as we just recently learnt of a new case, which is a local case, which presents itself in a way that can potentially have community spread. The St. Kitts Nevis Industrial and Commerce commends the swift response and the actions of the NEOC and the authorities to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 virus in the Federation as a result of this latest case, which was announced yesterday by the health authorities. And as the CMO and the Ministry of Health is engaged in a comprehensive tracing exercise to identify possible contacts of the latest possible case, which she gave an update recently. And I'd like to jump in here and just say that please do not listen to rumors, because I was fed the same text today, and I'm asking the public, please, just follow sources that are the authorities and not news sources that you can trust. Social media can be a dynamic and powerful tool. Use it wisely. In response to the announcement, we wish to implore really to all of our members, non-members, and the wider community at large, and anyone who actually runs a business or has a business entity on St. Kitts and Nevis, to adhere and to enforce all the non-pharmaceutical COVID-19 prevention measures as stipulated in the COVID-19 Prevention and Control Act. And I know that Superintendent Cromwell Henry just ran through those. But it is important that we all are human, and I know over time many businesses are guilty of dropping the ball or of becoming complacent and not enforcing. I see it as I walk around myself and I enter into different businesses or stores. I know that the customers are guilty, but you hold the power. And I keep saying this: if you own a business, your manager, supervisor, whatever, and you run that floor, and your job is to supervise that entity, you have the power to stop someone from coming into your business by saying, if you're not wearing a mask, you refuse to sanitize, then you simply cannot enter. And you have to enforce. You cannot bend the rules. I think we're seeing the results of what happens. And I think that it's important that if you are unsure and you are not a person who feels you could exercise authority, then find someone in that location who you work with who, would not have a problem turning that person back. And if you have issues, then you can reach out to the task force and you can get some guidance in that regard. I own a store, I can tell you. So I know, I can speak to it. I know there are people who try. You have to just enforce the rule. The rule is the rule, it's a law, and it needs to be followed. And if they're unable to do that, then you ask them to leave. If you have masks, give them a mask. A mask is not expensive. You can get masks in packs of 10 now for as low as $20. So if you're a business person, be smart. Don't lose the sale. Give them a mask and then sanitize them and allow them to come inside. Okay? But it's not worth bending any rules. So I'm asking you to please check around. The masks have been sold by many of the pharmacies. Some of the wholesalers are selling masks. We have masks now being produced in Nevis. The name of the business doesn't come to mind, but he's now packaged in and he has them in packs of 10. You can call him. I'll get the chamber to share that information at some point with you. But if you need to buy in bulk, masks are easily being manufactured by many different people here. We have Sun Island. We can go on with all the different masks that are available on island. So no need to order from Amazon either. Keep the locals in business, please, and buy them locally. So we'd like to remind you of those protocols and to enforce those protocols within your businesses. Wearing a mask, sanitizing, temperature check where possible. If you're a business and you have a temperature gun, use it. If you can, if you're a business that is not overly busy and you can put a spreadsheet at your door and you can find someone to take that information, that allows the Ministry of Health to have good contact tracing in the event and especially where we sit to speak today about a possible community spread, awaiting more results, of course. But if your business can conform to that, I'm encouraging you to do it. I do it at my location. It takes a little bit more time, but honestly, it's worth it at the end of the day. So find someone who's willing to just do that. And it doesn't have to be that they're dedicated to it, but you can have a slow business, and as someone walks in, they just take the temperature, write down the name, take the phone number, and log the temperature onto a spreadsheet. So where possible, please to engage in that. The COVID-19 compliance team will be stepping up their compliance enforcement activities across St. Kitts Nevis and ensuring full compliance by business houses. And so we're asking you again to kindly enforce all the public health measures. We advise and encourage all business owners, managers, and their team members to continue to support the rollout vaccination program to achieve our 70% herd immunity. There's no time like the present when we speak today to make the extra effort and decision to protect yourself and your family in the uncertain days ahead. Businesses who are wishing to engage their staff into further sensitization clinics around the island can contact Dr. Carty, is here with us, Marissa Carty, or email marissa.carty@gov.kn. The chamber can provide that information. If you call the chamber at 465-2980, our admin staff will be happy to direct you to the necessary contacts at the Ministry of Health. We feel and we know that there are a lot of small businesses who are part of the chamber, a lot of small and medium businesses who do not have HR departments, who may be a little lost and who are struggling to get their employees vaccinated, or convince them to vaccinate, or tell them why they should vaccinate. And if you don't have the tools, the Ministry of Health is ready and willing to help you with that. So for our smaller and medium-sized members who are unsure, we've sent out an email to you, giving you that information. Please to use it, and feel free to contact the ministry to help you in that regard. They will come on to your business if you wish, and they will do a briefing for you. We ask all members of the business community to exercise your responsibility and your duty to your employees, and to do all in your power to keep the people of St. Kitts and Nevis safe. It is the duty of you as an employer to keep your staff safe and healthy. Just as you have a fire extinguisher and an exit sign and all the necessary protocols in place in your business to ensure safety, vaccination falls within that. As an employer, it is your job and your duty to protect those people within your organization who has already been vaccinated and who have done, as Dr. Wilkinson likes to say, the right thing, to encourage others to do the same. And if those who are working in your organization are unsure, uncertain, scared, provide them with tools, have them speak to their medical doctor, provide sensitization programs, direct them to reliable sources of information where they can make their own decision. I do ask that that is done. I know that the chamber has come under tremendous pressure recently in the last weeks with members from our members who sent out memos within their departments asking their employees and their team members to become vaccinated. There was a lot of pushback. There was a lot of sharing on social media. Chamber released a release asking that the public understand why businesses have to do what we have to do to protect you. I think today we stand here, and I mean, we're sadly having to reiterate the same points over and over again, using language like selfish or irresponsible. I don't really take any sort of, if I use that word, I can't say that I'm sorry. I can't stand here and say I'm sorry. I think we need to be responsible, okay? I think what we're seeing today is a possible community outbreak on our hands that this country cannot afford. Neither can our health authorities or the health services afford this outbreak. People have been struggling for over a year and some. Many businesses are on the verge of closing if they're in the tourism and hotel industry. And the power really lies in the hands of those who still need to get vaccinated. If you're unsure, I can tell you my own story. I'm as human as you are. I have circulation in my family. I have coagulation, and I took that vaccine. I've had a clot in 2012 and 2014. I've had clots. Clots are part of your life. Sadly, maybe the doctors can give the data, but if you travel for many hours on a flight, for 12 to 15 hours, many people get clots after sitting for too long with lack of circulation, lack of movement. Women on hormonal therapy, women who take the birth control pill, they're prevalent to get clots. The same Moderna makes birth control. They make the vaccine also that many of you have spoken about or we talk about. So clots are part of, it's a risk in life. And my decision to take the vaccine on, March 8th, I'm due to have my second one on Tuesday. And I had a call from the nurse today to remind me of my second shot. And I would like to say that that was a decision that I made looking at the risks that were presented to me that I felt might be risks. I'm human, I read, I educate myself. And from at the end of it, I decided the best option was to save my life and that of those around me, the people I work with, my family. And I'm here to tell you that, look at me, I'm standing right here today, and I had it on March 8th. So, I mean, if you want an example of somebody who is risk, I never thought I'd tell my story, but here I am because I think it's a real one that maybe many of you listening can resonate with, who have, sort of reservations about taking the vaccine because you have health issues. Go to your doctor, speak to your medical practitioner or someone you trust who will give you information. There are also many people there who are trying to encourage those not to vaccinate. And some of them have vaccinated. So I'm asking people to be responsible. Don't use persons who you feel are gullible or who will not do the necessary research and try to persuade them otherwise. I'm asking persons to use your common sense, do your research. There are over 30,000 videos that have been pulled down from social media platforms. And as soon as they're taken down, more are presented. Just keep in mind that anyone can upload a video on social media, okay? So I'm asking you to please, to be responsible, to be mindful of the information that you share with others, and trying to convince persons. Everyone has a right, and we understand that. Use your right responsibly, please. I would like to just point out that on April 27th, the CIC wrote to the Prime Minister about our concerns with the pushback from the community and the public on the rollout program, because we felt that we needed to reassure the government and the Ministry of Health of our commitment to push forward despite the pushback on the vaccination rollout program. We requested a very strong government policy be put in place for the public sector compliance. We have seen since then quite an increase in vaccination, as Dr. Wilkinson indicated, but we need further traction. We urge the government, because of our concerns of possibly having to look at an expansion of all the wards at Pogson, JNF, and Alexandria, to accommodate a possible community outbreak. Please do not let us have to go to that route. I'm imploring on you today and asking you the vaccine is free of cost to everyone, but contacting a dose of COVID, a high dose of COVID, is very expensive to the state and would cost this country thousands for each person that has to be on a ventilator or in hospital. And this country has lost millions of dollars. I don't have the number in my head, but it's somewhere over $200 million in taxes probably not collected over the last year and some, okay? So again, many of you might say, we're speaking about economies. Well, we have to. Because without being able to reopen at some point, and we're looking at October, and we as a chamber have been very guilty, and we're very responsible at pushing forward with the Ministry of Health. We have now seen eye to eye because they know that they get a lot of pressure from us. When are we going to open? When are we? And I get pressure from my members consistently. So when are we going to open? What are we doing? Now we have a date in hand. We have a possible ship in July. You need to vaccinate. I don't think that we can sit around and play anymore. I think it's a point, we have come to a point where we can see the light, and now here we are having this conversation today, despite all of our efforts from everyone in the public and the private sector to try and get this vaccination rollout going. So I'm asking you to please be responsible and vaccinate. Don't hesitate. I'd like to end on a more positive note and just congratulate the 7 recipients at the investiture yesterday, where Dr. Wilkinson, Dr. Hazel Laws, and Mr. Samuel all received their Star of Merit, the CSM, which I had the pleasure of being at the event as a member of the chamber, but also as a member of the awardee committee. So I'd like to end by congratulating them. I was hoping that they would be able to enjoy a few days off, but I see yesterday they had to step up to the plate and continue the hard work and have a briefing yesterday and today again. So thank you for your commitment, hard work, and dedication to this cause. And thank you once again, and I expect to see some nice traction tomorrow and the coming weeks on our vaccination program. Thank you.